So we are beginning with our usual prayer. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्नमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापित्यत सर्वं त्रिलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितं भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितं पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा रुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दैवैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावसिता तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः। So with this opening prayer, we will go into our short 30 seconds dhyan. And I will add maybe a minute, a couple minutes more, so total of maybe 2 to 3 minutes of dhyan before we embark on our Gita lecture. So please jump into the dhyana. Om. 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 So we left last time, if you all remember, at stanza number 17 of chapter 5. I will begin with that. The first line is a marvelous line with a lot of sandhi here. Tad buddhayaha. That is the first phrase. Tad buddhayaha. And then if you see, all the other remaining phrases are also including a lot of tad, 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 tad. If you remember about few lectures ago, while I was trying to condense those 700 stanza and 18 chapters into some synopsis or a shorter thing, I mentioned that there are blocks of 6, 6, and 6 chapters. The first 6 is tad. The second 6 is tvam. And the last 6 are a C. You can see here that tad is coming here. We are going to finish the 6 chapters in a while. After this one, we'll go on the 6th chapter, and then we'll be finishing that the block of 6 chapters. But before that, he already started giving the hint. So let's see what he is saying here. Tad buddhayaha. It's a plural of tad buddhi. Tad buddhayaha. Tad atmanaha. It is also plural of tad atman. Tad nishthaha. That is also plural. Plural of nominative. Subject. These are all subject line in the lines. These are all subjects, but he is repetitively by various phrases. He's not using only one phrase. So many phrases here. And the reason is the human being thinks in so many ways. He has descended at the level, at the language of the human being, the divine. Tad buddhayaha, whose buddhi is in tad. And can you imagine we are calling that supreme, the non-dual Brahman as tad, tad, te, that? Why so? It is because for a human being, for an ordinary human person, that non-dual Brahman, even though 24 hours, 7 days a week, every minute, every second, he is breathing through every human being. But because of the thick layers of ignorance, that is not visible. And therefore that intimacy is translated into that. We have to call him that because he's that there, away, too far away. Tremendously away because of the thick layer of ignorance. So here there are few phrases, tad buddhayaha, tad atmanaha, tad nishthaha, tad parayanaha. All these are synonyms. It has only one meaning, one who is Brahmalin. That is the meaning here, just one word. But he is using so many phrases here to bring the message home. Then what happened to those people? Gacchanti. That is plural also, gam gacchati. Gacchanti apunaravrtti. They go, gacchanti. But how do they go? That is an interesting thing to know here. Apunaravrtti. There is no punaravrutti. There is no repetition. Repetition of what? Repetition of being born and dying, being born and dying, being born and dying. Punarapi jananam, punarapi mararanam. That punaravrutti becomes a. A means not in Sanskrit. A punaravrutti. There is one more nominative coming here. That is another beauty of the Sanskrit. It does not want to put all the nominatives together. It's just spread around, and in order to maintain that chand, he is doing that kind of thing. So the last one is Gnan Nirdut Kalmashaha. So who is Gacchanti and who is not coming back? He is mentioning that here. Whose buddhi is in Tad, whose buddhi is in Brahman, whose Atman is in Brahman, whose Nishtha is in Brahman, who is established in Brahman, who is Tad Parayanaha, who has the goal. If he is not already there, then he has the goal to be with Tad, with the Brahman. And the last one is whose sins have been burned, whose sins have been removed by Gnan. Gnan Nirdut Kalmashaha. Kalmashaha, sins. Nirdut, thrown away, removed. Those persons, plural, gacchanti, but still apunaravrtti. What a promise here. What a promise. You don't have to leave palace like Siddhartha to find that out. Right here is in this stanza. Because one of the problems with Siddhartha was, oh, these people are dying. Am I going to die? No, I don't want to die. How can I achieve that? Ran away from palace. But right here in the Gita, there is a scientific statement made here. How you will never come back. Further, what kind of qualities this person would have? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. It is seventh vibhakti. Vidya ne Vinay thi Sampann, who is endowed with learning and education and jnana, that kind of Brahman. Gavi hastini shuni cha eva swapaka cha panditaha samadarshinaha. Those five adjectives we saw in the last stanza, they are also called panditaha. And the meaning of panditaha means they are wise people. They have seen the wisdom. They have achieved the wisdom. Those wise people see the same thing, same Brahman, samadarshinaha, same Brahman. They have no differentiation. And that is why in this stanza, there are two ends he is putting. One is Vidwan Brahmin, and he goes all the way to the bottom, Swapake, the lowest on the pole of hierarchy. The wise has no differentiation because the wise sees only tad. Tad. I feel so ashamed to speak tad. Who is not tad? He's here. Look at the dead body. He cannot walk. That dead body never can walk. It's whatever he used to walk is not there now. That is, they are saying tad. Who is with the live people? That tad is there all the time. It's a shame that he has to use that phrase tad for us. He is also sending the message that, hey, do some effort so you see the non-dual, the principle of the Gita everywhere. Everywhere. What further happened to those people? Iha eva. Riyaj to iha eva. Right here. Taihi jitaha. Taihi. By them. Third vibhakti plural. Jitaha sargo. Sargaha it is sandhi. Sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha. Nirdosham hi sama brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Because they have controlled their mind and they see always Brahman everywhere. And since that Brahman is spotless, nirdosh, there is no dosh, there is no spot. Spotless Brahman, Brahmani te sthitaha. Brahmani Satmi Vibhakti, seventh declension. In the Brahman they are staying, sthitaha. So you are seeing a lot of qualifiers who are in the Brahman. We want to wander over in this kind of stanza. Am I sthitaha in Brahman? Aham Brahmani sthita? A big question. We don't want to just read, we want to ponder. This is not for reading. This is to implement right away. We want to put the book away, the Gita's book away, and go in the corner. Repeatedly ask, am I sthita in Brahman? Am I sthita in Brahman? Your life will be transformed. You don't have to go back to the book of the Gita. Your life will be transformed. Further, the qualities are this. Na prahushyat, prahushyat. હરખાઈ નહીં જાય, એકદમ happy ના થઈ જાય. That person will not become too excited. Why and how this thing is going to happen? Whenever this kind of instructions are there, it translates into, hey guys, you are living so much into the temporal part of the Sankhya, mind, body, and intellect. That is where this prahushya thing comes in, excited, Where should we stay then? Stay in the Shashwat part, the eternal part, the never dying, na jayate na mriyate va. There you will be perpetually happy. So many of the stanzas indirectly is transforming. That's why we had the first chapter of the Gita. First chapter is everything is in mind, body, and intellect. Until the 10th stanza in the second chapter comes up. Prahasanna iva. જાણે શ્રીકૃષ્ણ હસતા હોય એમ બોલવા માંડ્યા. આ સમયે તને ક્યાંથી આવી બુદ્ધિ સૂજી? કશ્મલમ ઇદમ. See the marvelous beginning. He didn't get mad. Friends usually get mad in this kind of situation. Hey, what kind of person you are? Like that. No. So this stanza, na prahushyat, it is a potential form of prahush. Potential means should not. There are moods, they call in moods in Sanskrit grammar. And in order to bring a different bhav, a different mood, there are different affixes. This Prahushyat is one of that. How Prahushyat? Priyaha. Priyam Prapya. Or Priyaha Prapya. Na Udvijet Aprapya cha Apriyam. And when he get the apriyam, means a disliking thing, is not disturbed also. So there are two things. With the priya become happy, with the apriya become unhappy. It's like a swinging. The life goes in the swing. Hey, stop the swing. Stop the swing. How? Put that mind in the Advaita. There was a question that even the Advaita have to take the form to perform the duties. In a private conversation yesterday, I explained that, hey, that dual appears as dual, that Krishna appears with 2 hands and 2 legs. Some of the people still saw, like Bhishma, Vyas. They saw that he is a non-dual Brahman walking in 2 feet. There is no dual. Even you and I are not dual. There is nothing except the non-dual. This statement needed to be digested completely. Sthira buddhihi asammudaha brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. That kind of sthira buddhi, stable buddhi, asammudaha, non-deluded mind, knower of Brahman, stays in Brahman. Brahmani means in Brahman. You have to pull out the phrases from the stanza and keep putting in the basket. And then with a good vocabulary, just kind of translate that, and you will really enjoy that. You don't have to learn Sanskrit for that. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. Touching outside. And what is the meaning of touching outside? By the senses going to the sense objects. Bahya sparsheshu asaktatma. That is where he is unattached, asakta, unattached. Where? In the outside world. Vindati atmani yat sukham. Saha brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam asnute. Sukham akshayam asnute. Akshayam, non-decaying sukh, non-decaying pleasure. Asnute, gets. That Brahma Yogini under Yukta Atma, the soul united with Brahman, not stretching the senses outside, get all the sukh, get all the pleasure, get all the anand. Anand is a better word. Anand. Anand is Anand is not simply pleasure. Anand means there is absolutely no trace of any disturbance. Disturbance is not even in thinking, as if it never existed. That stage is Anand. So look at, there are a lot of good results of staying in Brahman. And why do you have to stay away from those things, external things? Yehi sansparsaja bhoga dukhayona evate. Because all the things you embrace through senses, sansparsaja, you have the touch of that. And how the touch? Through the senses. Through the nose you smell good fragrance. Eyes you can see some beauty. Ear you can hear some music. Those senses, when becomes glued like a glue, you don't want to go away from it. It's just glued there. Then what happens? That is what he's saying. Dukha yonaha evate. They are the generators. I like that word, generator. They are the generators of pain. Pain has no class in spiritual life. In spiritual life, there is no pain whatsoever. Because all the pain are detected through senses. Senses take it to the mind. And believe me, mind has absolutely not much capacity there. It crumbles. Then either you become mentally ill, because you have no faculty of taking any action. See the problem? One way of going this way, going towards the Brahman, one way, and the other way going to the senses. You have a choice. One is going to make you miserable. Another will put you in the bliss. What a beautiful thing. He has given you the choice. What is there to wait? Just keep an eye on the mind. Don't let it go through the doors of the senses and bring the dirt inside. That's the only thing we have to do. Only one little thing. That is marvelous, marvelous thing. And he's finishing this stanza saying, Adi antavantaha. Adi means with the beginning. And Antavantaha, and with the property of ending. So this sansparshaja bhogaha, whom you can touch through the senses, they have the beginning and the end. He Kvanteya, na teshu ramate buddha. Teshu, in them, seventh vibhakti plural. Na teshu ramate buddha. Buddha word is coming many times. Buddha is from buddhi, who has become wise. Wise તેમાં enjoy કરવા નહીં જાય, ન રમતે. Buddha ન તેષુ રમતે. So, if somebody says, no, 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 you are not a wise person, do we feel good about that, hearing that? But if somebody says, no, you are a very wise person, you're living the life very scientifically, very logically. So this, the last part says, na teshu ramate buddha. Hey, hey, you are Buddha. Don't go to play there. Play here. You know, it's a marvelous way of sending the message, you know, in a positive way. Shaknoti iha eva. Right here you are able. Shaknoti iha eva. Right here. Yah sodum. Sodum means withstand. Sodum. Prak sharira vimokshanat. Prak means before. Sharira means body. Vimokshanat means abandoning. Before leaving your body. Prak sharira vimokshanat. So the translation is before you die. Kamakrodh udbhavam vegam saha yuktah saha sukhi naraha. Before you leave your body, the momentum of desire and anger, if you withstand, which you are able to do, which is doable, which you can do, that person, saha yuktaha sukhi naraha, that person who can withstand the momentum of desire and anger before he leaves his body, he is a happy man. You know, a lot of people talk about their friends, associate relatives. Oh, he to bahut sukhi hai. He is very sukhi. Have they had the chance to see this kind of stanza? And then evaluate the statement. Oh, really? Are we sukhi? Have we achieved that level that we have desire and anger? We can withstand. we can control, you know. So there are a lot of good, I mean, there are so many marvelous things which we can pull out, and then whatever we are using in our ordinary language day to day, that is why many times, when I'm among my friends, relatives, whoever, and when the normal talk going on, I usually would be very cool and quiet because what they have seen the world, I have seen, but I have seen some extra world. And so I have to be quiet. There is a phrase in Sanskrit that wherever there are apanditaha, જ્યાં પંડિતો નથી ભેગા થયેલા, there panditaha should be quiet. I think what the message I'm trying to send among us, there is so much language in the Gita also about how to speak the language, any language for that matter. You speak Gujarati. How many of us have the filter where each sentence is, filter? So that person would not be fast in talking, would be pausing and watching whether this is appropriate or not. That person never have to do, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to say that. Would you believe that? No. I would rather control the speech and just use the speech for the speech sake to something convey the message or whatever. So Gita has a lot of education in that fashion also. Yaha anta sukha antararam तथा अंतर ज्योतिरेव यह सयोगी ब्रह्म निर्वाणम ब्रह्म भूतो अधिगच्छति. That person who is internally happy, antararam, his personality is just enjoy within. Antar jyotir, all the knowledge is inside. Sahayogi Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Bhuto Adhigacchati. That person then is fit to move into Brahman, the Advaita. So a lot of clarifications are going on here. And that thing is going here, as I said, after second chapter, everything would be catered in a slow, easygoing palatable fashion. આપણને ભાવે એવી ભાષાની અંદર ચાલે છે. પેલેટેબલ. લબંતે બ્રહ્મ નિર્વાણમ ઋષયઃ. ઋષયઃ means ઋષિઓ. ક્ષીણ કલ્મષા. બધા પાપો ક્ષીણ થઈ ગયેલા, બધા પાપો નાશ પામી ગયેલા. All the sins are removed, dissolved. Chinna dvaidha. Dvai, this dvai and then dha. Dvai means the concept of duality. And dha means rite. Duality ni rite. Chinna dvaidha. Everywhere we differentiate, this is good, this is bad, this is ugly, this is nice. The duality. Chinna dvaidha. That way of thinking. No, try to see samatvam, the one thread, the one Brahman, like one string in the garland. Don't just look the external garland, there is a string inside. Sarvabhuta hite rata. And those people will always be living for the sake of or enjoying in the welfare of the other people. Kamakrodha viyuktanam. This is again coming. Desire and anger. Viyuktanam. Yatinam. Yachetasam. There are a lot of adjectives here coming. Abhitaha. Abhitaha means chomer, surrounding everywhere. Abhitaha. Those Sanskrit learning people, they might have seen this word abhitaha in chapter 5, just to remind them. Abhitaha brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. For whom the brahma nirvanam is abhitaha. Abhitaha means everywhere, surrounding everywhere. For whom? Viditatmanam. જેણે આત્માને ઓળખેલો છે. Who have known the Atman. Yachetasam. Whose thoughts are in the Atman. Yatinam, who are controlled. Kamakrodha viyuktanam. Desire and anger are already renounced. For that person, the Brahma Nirvanam, the absolute mukti, is everywhere. Abhitaha, everywhere. So there is also this statement is a scientific statement that if I want chomer, shanti, chomer, Brahma Nirvana, what kind of person I should be. That is what he is saying in a very simple language. I think I'm going to stop right here and we'll take your questions and any discussion that you have. After that, we will close this session because there is no Gita class today and couple more weeks. So please feel free to ask any questions, any puzzle, any confusion that you want to remove, etc.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Kamile. Thank you for this great study. When you were talking about I'm probably going to say it incorrectly, the Brumond, is that where we want to be? So we're all trying to get to a place of living in a way that's like the Brumond. And I know you talked about, you used another term called Anon, like that helps you get to and on. Like, I just want to make sure I'm understanding that. And then what exactly are we supposed to do, right? You gave some great examples of keeping your eye on the mind, staying away from senses purely, but just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Yeah, let me explain you that. I'm glad you showed up. You are the first. This is your first time you are here.
It is, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, let me. Unfortunately, they have on the YouTube sections. There are previous lectures, but I don't see my beginning lectures, which was like a first lecture.
Okay.
In the first lecture, I designated to explain the Sankhya philosophy. And since you missed that, I will just kind of touch base, not in as detail as I spent the whole hour that day. The, uh, the medical science, for example, they have tried to find out how a human being, because of what the human being is alive, you know, and by what he becomes dead, kind of thing. So many thousands years ago in India, there were a lot of sages. They were the spiritual scientists, and they have their laboratories in the forest. They would, uh, they would, their laboratory would be to meditate. They would not do experiment like in the laboratory where you see two test tubes and mix the things, they're not like that. After pondering many years, not just one person, there were a series of people, and that is how the Vedas, are you familiar with Vedas and Upanishads and all those?
No, but I'll look up here. I'm gonna also look up what your
Yeah, that's
service.
all right. So look for Veda, Veda.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is Upanishad. Upanishad is Upanishad. Upanishad. Upanishad, the meaning of that Sanskrit word is learning by sitting near a wise person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The meaning of Upanishad. So the all these scriptures along with the Gita, and there is another one called Brahma Sutra. There are a lot of scriptures, but these are the primary thing. Upanishads, Gita, and Brahma Sutra, the three are called Prasthanatrayi. Means move on with these three, Prasthanatrayi. And the philosophy is, hey, what are the constituents of the living entity? For that matter, it's a human being or animal or mosquito or whatever. By what, how do they live? So they analyze and they say, okay, they have body, which we see, they have mind, which we don't see but we experience. Then there is intellect. Then there is individual soul. And there is the supreme soul, the universal, a all-pervading, non-dual Brahman. This is the structure they came. Out of this structure, the last two parts, the non-dual Brahman, and the meaning of non-dual means it has no dual. It is, you have to, how would you imagine that? You have to really experience that, but I'm not going into that thing right now. There is no time for that. But if you want to see that or perceive or understand that non-dual, just sit down yourself alone and imagine something going from minus infinity to plus infinity through your body, through your head, through everything, through oceans, through mountains. Not an inch is left. He is going through you too right now. You don't see that. He is tightly packed. You are born maybe, I don't know, 30, 40, 60 years, whatever. You will not be around after 60, 70, 80, 100 years or so. You are a temporary phenomenon. Come and go. Not only that, but you are transient. You have no guarantee for tomorrow morning. What a fragile you are. But that, the infinite Brahman, and you will ask, how do I see that Brahman? All the infinite heavenly bodies in this Brahmand are floating like in the air without anybody suspending them or whatever. It is in that Brahman happening. This is the entire universe is his body. Like, you know. Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'm coming to simplistic thing. Buddha left his palace. He did not like somebody seeing dying, you know. He did not like somebody walking with a stick, the old age. So he left the palace and he found the answer. What was the answer? I'm not going to go into that. But in the constituents of human body, and for that matter, any creature, it has body, it has mind, it has intellect, it has his or her own soul, and then the supreme soul, the big self, we call it. The science of learning and I'm going to emphasize that this science is even more refined than physics. It has very sharp logic. Nothing is passing through without a proper filtration of analysis. Now, the only equipment we have is body and mind and a little bit of intellect. And we are continuously, day after day, year after year, living only in body and mind. And we label them. Oh, I'm very handsome. Oh, really? Tomorrow morning you don't know what's going to happen to you. And you are saying you are handsome? Oh, really? That mind you don't know, but every minute is changing. Still you are living in that house. That house is so nonsensical house. But still you enjoy that. Still you like that. You even don't care that above the mind there is buddhi. How often do we use buddhi to control the mind guy? That was the reason I have only kept 30 seconds meditation. If you can control 30 seconds, that mind guy, and I'm not joking, I like to meditate all day. Means no thought, absolutely no thought. In my 35 years of the government services, many times the general accounting office attorneys in black suits, black tie. If something appeared in the newspaper that morning, without any warning, about 20 of them would sit down in my office before I go there early morning. And my bosses would be looking for me. I'm not there. And they would be fluttering around and say, oh my God, that guy is still not here. And in the subway, I would be mindless. Walking in the building, I would be mindless. Entering my office, I would be mindless. Seeing those people, I would be still mindless. And my bosses did observe all that phenomenon. They would say, are you not worried about why they came here? What kind of questions they would ask you and all that? No. So that is the reason one here, the Gita is spoken in the extreme chaotic conditions. Our life is no less than that. But if we have trained the mind, oh man, the happiness is undescribable anywhere. Then there is buddhi, which also we don't use. And then there is atma. And then there is the non-dual Brahman. The last two we are completely unaware or we ignore them. Actually, we ignore them. We ignore them. So, about the question, what we are talking about, that Brahman and all that, we are talking about the last entity, the non-dual Brahman. Gita is teaching non-dual Brahman. Upanishads are teaching non-dual Brahman. Brahma Sutra is teaching non-dual Brahmans. Now you see that we are into a real physics science, the true science, the ultimate, by knowing which you don't have to know anything else. Second question. Yes,
You said that if we can keep our mind quiet or thoughtless for 30 seconds, then I understood you were trying to say, then we can perhaps keep it quiet and thoughtless for a much longer time.
yes.
Okay. The problem is, I my question is, the problem is the mind is such a wandering object, like a drunken monkey. It's very difficult to remain thoughtless for even 30 seconds. Is it? Is there a way that we can consciously subdue the thinking or somehow overcome it? Is it something that one can acquire by practice?
You have seen in many stanzas, there is a phrase he is using, gnanena chitva, cutting with the sword of gnana. His mind wanders only because we have not established ourselves truly into the reality of all pervading Brahman and the Atman. We have ignored them. And because of our practice of so much tangled with the worldly thing, mind like a puppy dog, I have given the name to mind, puppy dog. Nothing more than a puppy dog, you know. Puppy dog, when they are not controlled very well, and they will bark at everybody on the road, take it out, and, his mind has accumulated. And I'm not targeting you, Sanat Bhai. I'm making a general statement.
I understand.
This mind has accumulated so much dirt that in the time of our meditation, it would start jumping like a puppy dog. Mind is not like lion or tiger. It's not gonna eat you up. It's a puppy dog. It's a disturbing entity. It likes to disturb you. That's all his job, you know. By moving into the corner, or go for a walk in a jungle type park, sit alone under a tree or whatever, and talk with the puppy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I like you. I don't want to ignore you. But if you can sit down, I will appreciate that. One time, two times, three times, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. Eventually, this puppy dog will notice that my boss has certain other goal. When you will be in a true meditative capacity, the same puppy dog which used to disturb you will be sitting with the ears down, eyes sharply gazing at you, tail wrap around. And with the eyes, he will speak not by the mouth. Sir, sir, can I help you? He doesn't want to disturb you. So he's very polite now. And with your loving eyes, you are also not speaking with the mouth. With the loving eyes, you will just nod your head. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is the relationship of your puppy dog and you. He is not your enemy. He was never trained in the right way. That was the problem before. So now he's trained. And as I said, if you can train 30 seconds, I'm not speaking from any book. I am not speaking from any book. If you can, if you can just do 30 seconds, you will do however long. You will do however long. You will really enjoy. Your memory will be skyrocketing. Your whole personality will be changed. You are a cool, quiet guy because you are moving with the whole infinite ocean. You are not limited. You know, this the Gita is so much. I wish I can physically walk to every family and either give them the Gita or tell them, please, whether you understand or not, just try 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, etc. It has a tremendous holy nectar in there. You drink, you drink.
Thank you very much. That was very useful, very, very helpful.
Yeah, I'm sorry I took little longer time,
That's fine.
but I just wanted to achieve my goal. I will take one more question.
Thank you.
No question? Everybody want to go home or do something else now? Or, as long as you don't go with the puppy dog, that's fine. I would let you go. Okay, then we'll see you next time. If you really enjoyed uh, this thing, please do come back again and make some comments, what you want to understand, what is your goal, etc. Thank you very much. So I'm going to close this session, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.